Hello and welcome back to a new Brentford Fan TV video. We're going over all the incomings, outcomings, all the transfer updates, where Mbeumo will go and who will replace Thomas Frank. So we'll get into it and talk about an incoming.
We'll start with Anthony Milambo, and he is a young Dutch player, and he would be coming from Feyenoord, and apparently we've agreed personal deals. We just need to agree on a fee with Feyenoord, and apparently that can be up to 25 million euros. It's been a long transfer saga, this one, because I feel like months ago, before the window even started, we were in contact with him, we'd agreed deals, all this and that.
Yeah.
But still, all these months later, nothing's actually happened. But apparently, the transfer is coming soon. So hopefully we'll have that to look forward to.
Yeah, and it seems like an exciting transfer. A new attacking midfielder. That could change the dynamic of our play. Give someone for Damsgaard to compete with. Yeah, interesting. And 25 million doesn't seem like too much.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of our transfers, it is quite a lot. But we'll see how it goes. For that price, he'd probably be a starter.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with Brentford, though. I feel like it feels like every time we sign someone, it takes them a good 2-3 years to settle in, and they never seem to work out straight away, apart from a few people. And so, I'll be honest, I'm happy with our midfield as it is right now in terms of the starting three: Damsgaard, Yarmouth, Norgard. And so, if you give him a year to settle, fight for a place, and then in a few years' time, I'm sure he'll be starting for us. I mean, you have to remember, we'll get onto it later, but there's people interested in Damsgaard, and so it's a possibility that he could go in straight to swap for Damsgaard if we did lose him. Though I doubt we will.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it all plays out. But for now, it's an exciting new young midfielder coming into the squad.
Yeah.
So something to look forward to, really.
Yeah, exactly. Next up, we have a player called Theodore Mbeumo. I think that's how you say it. But yeah, he's 17 years old. I think he's a winger, and he's joining us from Preston North End.
Yeah,
so should be pretty exciting.
Yeah, so he's going to play for the B team next season, but again, that's a good investment in our future.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think you can't really go wrong with that. I think. Yeah. I feel like I saw something saying a fee of 3 million somewhere at some point, but I couldn't find that wherever I would have seen that. So maybe I've made that up completely. But yeah, I think we can't really go wrong.
No, I remember. It's a good thing signing B team players because then they develop, they play the system before they come, and then in 3 or 4 years they'll be ready to play for the first team.
Yeah, this isn't. I mean, we've seen it with Yarmouth.
Yeah,
he signed 2 or 3 years ago. He played for the B team, I think, for a year or 2 years. Now, I think he was in the B team for 2 years because I think he got a bad injury in his first year.
Yeah.
And maybe a year or 2 years ago, you would have said, "What happened to that Yarmouth fella?" Now suddenly we consider him a starting midfielder for us. And you know what? This signing of a player to the B team has reminded me. I'm sure last season we signed a player to the B team.
It
was a guy from Bromley, and I think he was a winger. But I honestly can't remember his name, so I'm just sort of wondering, will we see him maybe next season? Whoever this mystery person is I'm thinking of, will we see him involved in the team next season?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It'd be definitely good to get some depth in those areas. We struggled last season with all the injuries. So it'd be good to see a B team player coming in a wing.
Yeah.
And they'd be given a chance.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Next up, we're going to talk about Igor Thiago.
Yes.
He's been rumoured to have joined Besiktas, and then I saw it was said that he had agreed personal deals. But apparently all these rumours are false.
Yeah.
And I think I saw the club don't want to sell him anyway, because...
Yeah, we're not going to sell him. His club record signing, injured the whole of last season, not had any chance to play. And he seems, from what I've heard, he seems happy at the club.
Exactly.
So, we're not, I don't think we're listening to any offers, even if there are offers.
Yeah.
He's going to be the main man next season, up at striker.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does well.
But I think there is potential there.
Yeah. And now, for the person that I'm sure lots of people are here to hear us talk about, Brian Mbeumo and where he will be.
Yeah.
And so it is all still a little bit up in the air because, 2 or 3 weeks ago he said he wanted to go to Man United. Then Man United made an offer, but we all know, I think it was like 45 million plus 10 in add-ons. Yeah. That's nowhere near where Brentford want.
Not an asking price at all.
But I saw yesterday that Brian Mbeumo still wants to be going to Man United despite interest from Tottenham, and so he's turned down Tottenham, where it'll be a manager he knows, it'll be a system he knows through Thomas Frank. Yeah. It'll be Champions League football, and he still said he wants to go to Man United. And I heard that Man United are preparing another offer. So hopefully on our end, it's a good offer. Yeah. That we'll be happy to accept.
Because Tottenham put an offer that was bang on our asking price at 60. Well, rumoured to put an offer of 65 million.
Yeah.
But I think Mbeumo's and the club are waiting out for Man United's next bid, which, if they truly want him, will probably be higher.
Yeah. And, I mean, from our point of view, well, for me personally, I don't really care where he goes. As long as we get decent money and we get it done reasonably soon, I'm happy, because I just want us to have time to invest in a replacement.
Yeah, and they're huge shoes to fill.
Yeah.
He's been such a great player, scoring 20 goals last season. We're going to miss him.
Yeah.
But, as you said, if we can get a big fee for him, that would be great.
Yeah.
We'd probably almost instantly... Well, not almost instantly, but if we get the deal done, we have more time to find the best replacement.
Yeah.
Rather than one we just found pretty quick.
Yeah. I was thinking, though, it's possible that we don't even go for a direct replacement for the next season. We could do a typical Brentford of get someone, train them up for a few years, and then have them ready. Because I was thinking, if we just lose Mbeumo out of the front three, I'd be really happy with the front three of Whistler on the left, Thiago up front, and Sharda on the right.
Yeah, that would work.
Because Sharda, I think, originally is a right winger, and he's struggled, I think, on the left wing for us.
He struggled at striker as well.
So I think maybe on the right wing, just delivering crosses into Thiago and also getting in the box himself, I think it could work really well.
Yeah.
And so I don't think... I mean, obviously, if Thiago can stay fit, then we'd be fine, but I also think let's just get this deal with Mbeumo done quickly to whoever it's to, because I think it was the Celtic winger we were interested in, but lots of people are interested in him, and it's like we don't want to go and buy the replacement before we get the money for Mbeumo.
Yeah.
And so I just want Mbeumo gone sooner so we can get the replacement sooner.
Yeah. Moving on to another player rumoured to leave. Well, not rumoured to leave, but multiple clubs are interested in Mikhail Damsgaard, which, it's... Yeah, we don't want him to leave, but to be fair, there's nothing other than just interest in clubs, and there always seems to be every window for any one of our players, so...
Yeah,
I'm not sure much will happen on this one, but at least I'm hoping not.
Yeah, I mean, I think Inter Milan, Tottenham, Liverpool... No, not Liverpool. I can't remember exactly, but a lot of big clubs are interested in Damsgaard, which makes complete sense.
Yeah.
But I think we're at a point where he signed a new deal at the start of the year, and so he's got another 5 years with a year option to extend his contract, so we're not obliged to sell him, even if good money comes in. So I think it's one of those where offers might come in, but we probably won't do anything about it. We'll just keep him because we can't really afford to lose too many people.
Yeah, and he's a key part of our midfield.
Exactly.
If you remove him from the midfield, then it won't be the same.
Yeah.
But again, we're signing Malamba, so maybe it's
him.
Yeah. Well, of course we'd want to keep him.
Yeah, and then next up, sort of similar situation. Nathan Collins is attracting interest from a couple teams. Liverpool, Spurs are interested, but I think it's sort of similar situation where he's got time left in his contract and he's really important for us, and so we're better off just ignoring even good offers and just saying, no, Collins is ours, we need him.
Yeah, and it's I know that big clubs, a big club like Liverpool would be an interesting offer, but I think we kind of built. We kind of signed Kelleher, who plays for Ireland with Collins.
Yeah.
It seems like a signing tailored to Collins to keep him in the defence, and at the moment he is our main defensive centre back.
Yeah, he's our most important player really in the back line.
Yeah, so I don't see why you'd want to move, but also, again, if big clubs are interested.
Well, yeah.
But again, it's the same situation with Damsgaard. We don't want him to go.
Yeah, if you're Nathan Collins and you have an option to go to a Champions League club, you're likely to take it, but we don't have to agree to any offers anyway because we just don't have to. And now moving on to the possible Thomas Frank replacement.
Yes.
Well, it's all a bit up in the air still. We don't really know what's happening, but in the odds, the bookies' favourite is currently Keith Andrews. Second in line is Francesco Farioli, and third favourite is Kieran McKenna. And so we'll just sort of go a quick run through of all of them, who they are, their experience, and we'll start with the favourite, Keith Andrews.
Yeah.
And he lacks a lot of experience, you could say.
Yeah, I would say the main reason we sign him is his Brentford experience, having been at the club as a set-piece coach. He will just... It'd probably be a very smooth transition. But he doesn't have that managerial experience that I feel like is needed at this point in the Premier League.
Yeah. Well, Keith Andrews has never been a manager before.
Yeah.
He's been assistant manager for Ireland under-19s and the Ireland national team. And he's also been assistant manager at, I think it was Sheffield Wednesday. But and then he came and joined us as set-piece coach.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting him to be a good coach. But
I'm not.
It's... And then I just don't really want it to happen, if I'm being completely honest, in terms of it's just such an unknown.
Yeah.
He hasn't proved himself ever. He's got no CV, and he doesn't know what it's like when times are hard, when you're on a bad losing streak, or does he know how to get a game over the line, making subs. And so for me, it's just not who I'd pick.
Yeah. I'm not 100% opposed to the idea, because I trust the club, and if they think he's good enough to be a manager, then he probably might be. But we also took that risk before with Thomas Frank. He was assistant manager before, but it's a bit different with Thomas Frank. He had experience managing the Danish youth teams and a few other clubs, so he was more experienced for the job.
Definitely.
That risk worked out very well.
Yeah, but that was also in the Championship.
Yes.
Where we had a decent team. Making a risk with your manager isn't too much of a risk.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah. And I'm going to actually... I think I was watching... Maybe it was a clip, or maybe I was watching one of Ben Foster's podcast episodes, or one of his weekly videos. And he was saying, with Brentford, yes, Thomas Frank has gone, but he said, that you just trust the club to make the right decision, because they've done it so many times with players and transfers over the years. He said, they probably have some random Norwegian fellow ready to come in as manager. And I was like, I like that. I like that he said that. People are starting to trust Brentford, but even when it looks bad, we lost Benrahma, Watkins. We're fine, get Tony. We lose Tony, it's fine. People always step up. And I think we did have a plan, and the plan was replace Thomas Frank with Justin Cochrane, but he's of course joined Thomas Frank at Spurs, and so I think it's almost like we did have the plan ready, the replacement ready. It was all planned out, but it didn't come into fruition, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you look at the managers available. I think it says a lot about who's available if the current favourite is our set-piece coach.
Yeah, and as you're saying, we've usually got someone lined up ready. Every time we've lost a player, we've got a replacement practically ready instantly. So I think it's just a lot more thought has to go into it, because, as you said, our first plan didn't come to be. Yeah.
Now, the second favourite, according to the bookies, to become Brentford manager is Francesco Farioli. Now, this is probably out of everyone available or who we're linked with, is who I'd be most happy with us getting to be our manager. Last season, he was the Ajax manager. He got sacked at the end of the season, and they were top of the league for the entire season, but they lost the league on the last year of the season.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think, and for Ajax standards, it wasn't a great season, but I still think he's a quality coach.
Yeah.
Apparently, he plays 4-3-3. I saw a video briefly on him explaining a system. I can't remember it. But apparently he plays a 4-3-3. And so it's a system that Thomas Frank has played in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, last season we played 4-2-3-1. That is basically a 4-3-3, but with 2 6s. With one that goes forward a little bit more than the other.
Yeah. But I feel like I've seen the same video, I think, and he was talking about he likes to control the game, play it. Well, control the game, but also play possession, play attacking football as well. And I feel like it'd be a very smooth transition going from our current formations to 4-3-3. Almost like no change at all, really.
Yeah,
I think he'd be a good fit for the club.
Yeah.
I think.
And that was quite interesting, is a few days ago, Besotted Brentford tweeted saying, it was something like, there's red and white smoke coming out of Lionel Road. And so when they said that at first, I thought, do they mean Keith Andrews is going to be the next manager? Because the link is, in the Vatican, when a new pope is announced, it's black smoke comes out the chimney when they haven't decided who the next pope will be, and then when they have decided who the new pope will be, white smoke comes out the chimney, and then he's announced. And so them saying red and white smoke is coming out of Lionel Road, I was thinking, okay, so we're going to have an announcement apparently for who's going to be our next manager.
It's been a few days, and nothing's happened.
So I was thinking though when they said that, if it's happened this quickly, I was like, it's going to be Keith Andrews. But then I forgot, Francesco Farioli is Italian, and so maybe they were trying to make that link of, the Vatican is in Italy, so it's going to be Francesco Farioli maybe, and so that would be our favourite, I think.
I don't know, there's still been no announcement.
Yeah, but that would make more sense though, as in like, they need to do all the deals, they need him to come over to the country, agree on the personal deals, everything. And so, I don't know, it's just speculation right now.
It is all speculation.
And then the third favourite for the Brentford job is Kieran McKenna. I'll be honest, if this did happen, I wouldn't be too mad. I wouldn't be.
When all the first rumours came in, Kieran McKenna seemed like the best option at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of what he did with Ipswich this last season, he didn't do a terrible job. I thought they were better than Southampton and Leicester, although Leicester picked up at the end of the season. But I think there's sort of a criticism of him, is that he's sort of a bit one-dimensional, didn't know what to do when things weren't going their way, struggled to change things up, which we know Thomas Frank is very good at doing. But I think we have to remember, this time last year, Man United were considering him as their manager. And so he's definitely a top manager, and he'll have more resources, better players at Brentford. And so there's no reason why he can't do well with us, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and you mentioned the relegation. I don't think he was to blame for that. I think nowadays the Premier League is so competitive throughout the entire league that it's tough for teams coming up in the Championship to stay up.
Yeah, it does seem
like the past 2 or 3 years, it seems like most of the teams that have come up have also gone down.
Yeah, it does seem like the gap's getting bigger, and so it's almost an impossible job that he was trying to do. But but he's the third favourite, so maybe it's less likely that he'd be our manager. And then our final bit of news is that Thomas Frank's assistant head coach at Brentford, Klaus Norgard, he didn't join Thomas Frank at Spurs, and he's been sacked from Brentford. Well, not sacked, but he's left the club.
Confirmed to leave.
But I was thinking, was it a sacking, and they've just said he's left the club? Because Klaus Norgard was apparently in charge of our defensive side of the game last season, and we had a terrible defensive record. You look at Justin Cochrane, I think he was the attacking coach from last season, and he's gone with Thomas Frank to Tottenham, and so I don't know.
Yeah.
This is all speculation from us.
Yeah, the thing is with all this stuff is even half the rumours, we don't know if they are true. They're all just rumours.
Yeah, like do we trust the source that we've read it from? Are they reliable? It's all those kind of things.
Yeah.
But then I did hear from Jay Harris that he said apparently Klaus Norgard, it was his idea to turn Kino Spotter into a left back last season, and that was a brilliant idea. It did really well for us. So he has
he's had some good ideas.
He's had some good ideas.
But yeah, he was rumoured to be our manager at first. Well, people were saying that anyway. But, it was all...
apparently not.
Yeah. And half the people were saying that he was going with Thomas Frank, but he hasn't. So it's interesting to see what would happen with him. But now it is confirmed he's gone with the club. No, he's left the club.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But there, that's been our transfer roundup for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I don't think there's anything we've missed. And I'm sure just after recording this video, we're going to check our phones and there's going to be news that something's happened. Our videos are going to become outdated the second we're done. It always feels like that.
Announced or whatever.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.